What if I told you that in a world where everything pulls him apart, his job, his thoughts, his fears, his battles, you could be the one place where he finally breathes? Not just the girl he talks to, not just someone he sees when he's free, but his calm, his soft place, his peace. Because in a world that drains him, the woman who brings him peace becomes the woman he holds on to. He doesn't say it out loud, but he feels it. The pressure, the weight, the quiet war inside his chest. He steps out every day into a storm of demands, noise, and silent expectations. And when he walks back into your life, he doesn't need another storm. He doesn't need a battlefield at home. He needs peace. A kind of peace that doesn't just feel good, it feels like home. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Nowhere can a man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." But what if you could be that place, not by shrinking, not by losing yourself, but by understanding that peace doesn't mean silence. Peace means safety. Peace means that when the world turns its back on him, you don't. Peace means he can come to you and not feel like he's failing. Peace means you don't compete with his chaos. You calm it. Think of the ocean, wild and fierce on the surface, but quiet and still beneath. That's what you can be to him, the stillness beneath his waves, not another current trying to pull him, change him, fix him, but a depth he can rest in. But let's be real, this isn't easy, because maybe you've been taught to always ask, always question, always need. And yes, your needs matter, your voice matters. But what if the most powerful thing you could offer wasn't loud? What if it was presence? What if it was patience? What if your energy was the very thing that made him rise stronger? Beautiful woman, this is where the shift begins. You do not lose yourself to be his peace. You become it by knowing your strength, by knowing that your softness isn't weakness, it's power. The kind of power that makes a man remember you even when the world forgets everything else. This is where you stop fighting to be understood and start living as a woman who creates peace simply by being. And this, lovely woman, is the first step to living as a queen. A queen isn't just a title, it's a presence. A queen does not chase. A queen does not fight to be seen. A queen becomes so grounded, so sure, so peaceful, that he feels it in his soul. And once he feels that kind of peace, he'll never forget where he found it. If this message touched something deep in your heart, if it reminded you of the woman you're becoming, the power you've always had, then don't leave without showing love. Like this video and subscribe to the channel, because we are working hard to bring you real, raw, and soul-shifting content that helps you rise, heal, and reign. You deserve more than just words. You deserve guidance that empowers your heart. And that's exactly why we're here. Number 1. Be the calm after his chaos, not the echo of his storms. Have you ever watched a man walk through the door and felt the weight on his shoulders before he even said a word? His silence speaks louder than anything. His tired eyes, his heavy breath, the way he quietly drops everything like he's been holding up the world all day. He won't say it out loud, but he's drained. And in that moment, the one thing he's hoping for is peace. Not pressure, not noise, not another storm. Just peace. That's where you come in, not to be the echo of his chaos, but to be the calm he never knew he needed. He doesn't need perfection. He doesn't need you to fix his life. What he needs is to know that when everything out there feels like it's falling apart, being near you feels like he's finally safe. When his mind is loud, your presence becomes his silence. When his spirit is tired, your energy becomes his shelter. As Epictetus said, no great thing is created suddenly. And becoming his peace is not about changing who you are. It's about rising into who you were always meant to be. Think of a lighthouse. It doesn't follow the storm. It stands still. It shines steady. It shows the way home. That's what you are becoming, a woman who doesn't chase the waves of his struggle, but stands firm in her grace. Because when he sees that you are not here to fight him, not here to compete with his pain, not here to drain him like the world already does, he stays. Not just with his body, but with his heart. This doesn't mean losing yourself. It means becoming more of yourself. Softer where it matters, stronger where it counts. And this is where your transformation begins, not as a girl fighting to be heard, but as a woman who knows her presence is enough. And that presence, that energy, that peace, it becomes unforgettable. Dear beautiful woman, this is not about being less. It's about being wise enough to know when peace speaks louder than pressure. The world may exhaust him, but you become the calm he craves. Write this in the comments and claim it. I am his calm after the chaos. Let the world know that you're not just a woman. You're becoming his peace in a world that drains him. And if this message touched your heart, if you felt seen, loved, and reminded of who you are becoming, like this video and subscribe to the channel. We're working hard to bring you powerful, life-changing lessons that awaken the queen in you. Number 2. Hold space, not grudges. Have you ever seen a garden bloom because someone kept yelling at the flowers to grow? Growth happens in stillness, in patience, in quiet space. The same goes for love. The same goes for him. If you truly want to be his peace in a world that keeps pulling him apart, you cannot hold on to grudges like weapons and expect him to feel safe. You cannot throw yesterday in his face and expect him to rest in your presence today. Because love built on tension is never love that lasts. It's survival, and survival isn't peace. He walks into your life tired. He's been carrying battles no one sees, not because he's weak, but because life is heavy. He doesn't need another weight. He doesn't need to come home and feel like he's walking into a courtroom. He needs to feel like he's walking into a sanctuary, a place where he's seen, not judged, a space where he can breathe, not defend himself. And that kind of peace, it begins with you choosing not to hold on to the little things just to keep score. It begins when you learn to hold space instead of holding grudges. Seneca once said, "Anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it." When you choose to release what you could have held against him, you're not just giving him peace, you're giving yourself freedom. Imagine your heart as a room. Would you rather it be filled with light and love, or with boxes of bitterness stacked to the ceiling? The more space you free up, the more love you have to offer. That is what attracts him. That is what keeps him coming back. Not because you are easy, but because you are emotionally safe. Think of a warm fireplace in the middle of winter, quiet, steady, present. That's what he needs, not flames that burn everything down, but a steady glow that makes him want to stay. Lovely woman, this is the moment you step into your true power, not by being loud, not by being right, but by being calm enough to lead with love. This is what it means to live as a queen. A queen does not carry old wounds like trophies. A queen holds space with grace and strength, knowing that peace is more powerful than pride. Write this in the comments, queens, and claim it for your heart. I hold space, not grudges. Let this be your reminder every time you want to choose reaction over restoration. We're working hard to bring you real, raw, life-changing lessons that help you rise, love better, and live your reign. Number 3, don't pick at his wounds. Be the reason they start to close. Have you ever touched a bruise that wasn't yours and still felt the pain? That's how it feels when you keep picking at the parts of him he hasn't healed yet. In love, it's easy to point fingers, to demand more, to ask why he's distant, cold, or shut down. But what if his silence isn't rejection, it's protection? What if he's not pulling away from you, but from the pain he doesn't know how to show? In a world that drains him, he's already bleeding on the inside. He walks through his days with wounds no one sees, disappointment, pressure, fear of failure. And sometimes, when he's finally beside you, he's not ignoring you. He's just too tired to explain the storm in his mind. He doesn't need someone to press on the bruise. He needs someone who makes it easier to breathe. And that woman, she becomes unforgettable. Seneca once said, "Where a man can breathe, there he will return." So ask yourself, does he breathe easier around you, or does he brace for battle? The truth may sting, but it also sets you free, because you have the power to change it. Not by shrinking, not by being silent, but by becoming a place of peace instead of pressure. Think of a garden. If a flower is hurt or broken, you don't yell at it to bloom faster. You give it light, water, space, and let it rise when it's ready. That's what your love can be. Not forceful, not demanding, just consistent, calm, and healing. Because when a man finds a woman who doesn't dig at his wounds, but helps them close, he doesn't just remember her, he holds onto her. And this is where the shift begins. This is where you stop asking him to be whole and start becoming the kind of woman who creates wholeness just by being. You don't need to fix him, you just need to stop breaking what's already fragile. You are not here to nag, demand, or pick apart. You are here to become his safest place. The moment you choose this path, that's the moment you begin living as a queen. Beautiful woman, your strength is not in control, it's in your presence. Your power is not in loudness, it's in your stillness. You don't need to chase, explain, or change who you are. You need to become so soft, so steady, so unshakable that even his broken pieces begin to heal around you. Write this in the comments and claim it. I help his wounds close, not reopen. We are working hard to bring you the life-changing lessons you deserve, lessons that remind you you weren't born to chase, you were born to reign. Number 4. Be water, not fire, when he's already burning. Have you ever tried to pour gasoline on a fire just to watch it calm down? Of course not. You know it only makes things worse. So why, when he's already burning on the inside, burning with stress, pressure, unspoken fears, would you meet that fire with more fire? He doesn't need flames. He needs water. He needs softness. He needs peace. And in a world that already drains him, you can be the peace that saves him from drowning in his own heat. Sometimes the strongest thing you can be is gentle, not weak, not silent, not invisible, gentle. Because when a man comes home from a world that bruises him, battles him, and expects him to never break, the woman who offers warmth instead of war becomes unforgettable. That's the kind of woman he holds close when everything else falls apart. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." Right now, he might be drowning in that pain. And the truth is, he might not say it. He might carry it with a forced smile, but his heart, it's tired, and the last thing he needs is more conflict What he really needs is peace in the shape of you. Think of rain falling on cracked, dry earth. It doesn't scream, it doesn't demand, it simply shows up and gives life. Be that kind of love. When he's overwhelmed, be the silence that steadies him. When his world feels heavy, be the softness that holds him. This doesn't mean you lose your power, it means you become it. Because a woman who knows when to be water, when to cool, when to soothe, carries a strength that fire can never touch. This is how you begin living as a queen, not by controlling, not by fixing, not by forcing, but by understanding the power of calm. A queen does not add to the chaos. A queen brings peace with her presence. And the man who feels that kind of peace, he'll never stop needing it. Queens, this is your moment to rise, not louder but softer, not fiercer but deeper, and when the world expects you to explode, you choose to flow. Write this in the comments and claim it. I choose to be water, not fire. And if this message reached your heart, if it reminded you of the kind of love that truly transforms, like this video and subscribe to the channel. We're here, working every day to bring you real, powerful, life-changing lessons, because your peace is your power, and it's time the world felt it. Number 5. Listen without fixing, love without pressing. Have you ever watched the sky right before a storm? How everything holds its breath, how even the trees go still. That's what he needs when the world is already too loud. Not more noise, not more pressure, just presence, just peace. He doesn't always need your solutions. He needs your stillness. He needs to be heard, not fixed. He needs to feel safe, not sized up. And this is where everything changes, when you learn to listen without trying to fix, and love without pressing him to explain things he doesn't yet have words for. Right now, he's carrying more than he shows, not because he's cold, but because he's tired. The world already demands him to be strong, to keep going, to never break. And when he comes to you, the last thing he wants is to feel like he's falling short again. A man opens up where he feels no judgment. A man comes closer where he feels peace, not pressure. He may never say it out loud, but he will never forget the woman who gave him silence when he needed space, patience when he had no words, and love that didn't come with conditions. As Lao Tzu said, silence is a source of great strength. Not every kind of love is loud. Sometimes the most powerful kind of love is quiet, like a soft blanket on a cold day, like sunlight through a cracked window, like breath after panic. You don't need to fix him. You are not his repair shop. You are his rest. And when a man finds rest in your presence, that's when he sees you differently. That's when he stays. Think of a garden. You don't yell at a flower to grow. You water it. You wait. You make sure the soil is soft. That's how peace works in a relationship too. He will bloom where there is patience. He will thrive where there is calm. If you rush him, question him, pressure him to be more than he is in that moment, you become another demand in a world full of pressure. But if you simply be, if you stay soft, grounded and open, you become the one place where he finally feels like he can exhale. This is not weakness. This is your power. The kind of power only a true queen can hold. A woman who understands her energy is not made to chase, fix, or force. Her energy is made to attract, and what she attracts is peace, devotion, and love that grows stronger over time. You, beautiful woman, are not desperate for attention. You are the attention. You are not lost without him. You are found within yourself. And when you learn to love without pressing, to listen without fixing, You become the peace that no other woman can compete with. Write this in the comments and claim it. I am his peace, not his pressure. Let the world know you are done chasing, done proving, done pulling. You are peace in a world that drains him, and he will never forget the woman who gave him that gift. We are working hard to bring you life-changing truths, to help you rise, and to remind you your love is not ordinary, Queen. It's rare, it's healing, it's unforgettable. Number 6. Don't demand his crown. Remind him why he deserves to wear it. Have you ever noticed how a man starts to dim when the world keeps telling him he's not enough? How his shoulders begin to drop just a little more every day? He doesn't always say it, but he feels the pressure. He hides it behind silence, behind smiles, behind pretending. The world strips him of his strength, little by little, and the worst part, he starts believing he doesn't deserve to wear his crown anymore. And in that moment, when he's doubting himself most, what he doesn't need is someone pointing at what he's lacking. He needs the one woman who sees past the weakness. He needs the one who reminds him of the king inside, not the flaws outside. He doesn't need more demands. He needs to be reminded that he is still worthy. Not because he's perfect, but because he's human. And when the world drains him, the woman who speaks life back into him becomes unforgettable. As Epictetus once said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. The same goes for how you respond to his low days. Do you question his strength, or do you remind him it's still there? Do you challenge his manhood, or do you gently call it back to life? Think of a soldier returning from battle. He's scarred, he's tired, he's worn out. But imagine if the first face he sees is not criticism, not complaints, but warmth. Imagine if the first voice he hears says, "You've fought hard. Now, rest. You're still my hero." That is what peace feels like. That is what makes him rise again. This is where you stop trying to wear his crown and start becoming the reason he remembers how to wear it himself, not by losing your voice, but by learning when to speak life, not fire. Because the woman who builds him up when the world breaks him down, she becomes his peace, his anchor, his forever. And now, lovely woman, step into who you were always meant to be. Not loud, not demanding, but powerful in grace. Because this is how a queen lives. A queen doesn't strip a man of his strength. She awakens it. And when she does, he will never forget who helped him wear his crown again. Write this in the comments and claim it. I remind him who he is without losing who I am. Queens, let this be your affirmation. Speak it, live it, own it. We are working hard to bring you the kind of truth that doesn't just inspire, it transforms. Number 7, let your love be his refuge, not his battlefield. Have you ever looked into his eyes and seen exhaustion that words couldn't explain? Not just physical tiredness, but something deeper, the kind of tired that lives in his spirit. The world doesn't go easy on him. Every day, he fights battles he doesn't talk about, expectations, pressure, failure, fear. And when he finally comes to you, what does he find? A place to rest or another war? A man who feels safe will love without fear. But if every conversation feels like a test, if every moment turns into a fight, he won't stay open. He will shut down. He won't tell you what's breaking him. He will hide behind silence. And slowly, love starts to feel like a weight, not a home. Rumi once said, "The wound is the place where the light enters you. But only if that wound finds healing, not more pain." If your love becomes the place where he can take off the armor, breathe, be imperfect, and still feel enough. That's when you become unforgettable. That's when love grows deep, not wide. Think of a lighthouse. It doesn't chase ships. It doesn't scream through storms. It simply stands, steady, glowing, a guide back to safety. You can be that for him, not by fixing everything, but by being the one place where he doesn't feel judged, where his spirit can rest, where he feels stronger just by being near you. This doesn't mean you lose yourself. It doesn't mean you stay quiet when things are wrong. But it means you speak with love, not rage. You bring calm, not chaos. And in doing that, you become his peace, the thing no other woman could be. Lovely woman, you are not here to compete with his stress. You are here to rise above it, not by shrinking, but by glowing. Because when you live as a queen, your love doesn't demand. It inspires. Your presence doesn't control. It calms. That kind of love doesn't just attract a man. It transforms him. Write this in the comments and claim it now. I am his peace, not his pressure. Say it with your heart, queens. This is your moment to become the woman who brings light, not noise. And if this touched your heart, if it reminded you of the kind of love you're ready to create, like this video and subscribe to the channel. We are working hard to bring you these powerful, life-changing lessons because you were never meant to break. You were meant to reign.